Amadeus, you and Lenore fly closer and closer to the edge of the mist. You see, as you come up on this last rolling set of hills, there's just an impenetrable, opaque wall of cloud, a hard border for Barovia. This backdrop floods like a waterfall, rolling, but never encroaching any further. Just beneath it, you actually see lantern lights, fire lights from great bonfires casting shadows up into the mist. These great rolling hills have a road carved through them with switchbacks steep as they come up to the crest of a hill. On top of it, there is some great standing stones. And in the middle of those, a tall tree, gnarled and black. It stands above everything else. Lenore, you see her flying lower. As you near this hill, you can see movement. You recognize them to be druids by their pelts that they wear across their backs, horns, some of them, antlers, straps, and headdresses. Lenore lowers and lowers as she approaches this hill, and you see these tents spread all about the hillside. She drops them just beside the road, flipping and turning back into her human form.
I gotta follow her.
You do that, landing. She puts a hand up. And peers around one of the trees. She pushes you back, and you walk back until you come to a stump that she crouches behind. Okay. If we fly any closer, they are looking for ravens. They were putting up all those scarecrows. They have watchers. We have to be careful how we do this, of course. They had the seed somewhere. I don't know where. But perhaps we can make our way into the heart of it and find out.
Yes.
Be careful.
I'd like to cast Pass Without Trace.
How does that look?
You just want to read the description?
Yeah. How does it look for you when you're casting?
I'm just holding my hand.
Okay. She do that. She kind of looks at you, watching. With your hand out like that, she kind of just places it in one of your hands.
Thank you. Just casting a spell.
Oh, sorry.
It'll keep us, or help us be protected.
Okay.
Or less likely to be.
You doing that, you find yourself walking through the shadows, and the shadows seem to grow as the moon comes overhead and wanes again. In that movement, the shadows almost seem to lurch towards you. You find it easier and easier to hide within them. Lenore kind of glances about. I know you could do magic.
Just a little bit. Very, very little, honestly.
You continue walking up this road until you come to an encampment. These musty, mold-stained tents, some of them overgrown with moss. They've been there for some time. Are perched on either side of the road, some of them up on these grassy knolls. You see actually a couple men sitting up there behind a small fire, just looking out. One of them stands, walking back and forth. He holds a bow in his hands. His jowls thick with dark brown hair. They don't seem to notice you as you encroach in on their camp.
Are we close to any tents?
Yeah, you walk kind of up that road there and divert off to one side. You find yourself at the back of a few of the tents. They are not fully enclosed. You see light pouring out through each of them, matted grass underneath. You figure that by just lowering your head, you'd be able to peek inside some of them.
I'd like to peek inside.
Okay. Yeah, you lean up to one of the first ones you see, and there inside you see a mother playing with her child, bouncing him on her knee. He's just a toddler. He waves his hands and he grabs onto these deer antlers that she has actually protruding as a headdress on her. She goes up, takes them off, and puts them on the child, playing with them. In that light, you see, though they wear the trappings of animals, they're really just people. A different culture, of course, than the rest of the Barovians. But she continues playing with the child, not seeming to notice you, and move on to another tent. Lenore looking through them. She goes up to you. I don't think it would be here.
We haven't checked all the tents.
These are just, they don't seem very important.
No, I agree. Looks like just family, where they're staying.
I don't know much about druids, but that up there looks important. She goes and points up the hill, and you see this ominous black gnarled tree poking out between these large gray standing stones. I know they hold it a sacred site. Perhaps closer to the tree you have the, I want to say nobility, but they're not nobles, I don't know.
Let's go to it carefully.
Okay. You go winding up these switchbacks, all the while passing through some camps. You go back behind tents, unseen. Go ahead and roll for stealth.
You're 15. Stealth dexterity, right?
Yeah, generally yes, but you have your own stat for
Yes,
it.
that's gonna be
Yes.
less.
You probably have proficiency in it.
That was not in mine.
Yeah, I was like,
I'm
what
gonna,
are you?
I forgot I couldn't find mine.
Yeah, I was like,
21.
wait, what do you do?
21?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, I
Yeah.
have a plus 0.
With that, you're very easily staying hidden, passing from high standing rock to another rock, switching up these switchbacks. You find yourself crawling over this moss and earth as you climb this great hill. Eventually, you come up towards the top of it, and there is a long road that sort of leads to these standing stones. You crawl up over the top of this hill, staying just off the road as it's very open there. Each of these are tents. And actually here is a fire casting long shadows outward. There's another fire over here that also casts shadows. Where do you go?
I think we should take this way.
Yeah. The Nord just follows you. What direction would you go?
Let's go stay on the outside.
As you come around the outside here, you actually pause as a man comes blundering out of this tent. He doesn't seem to notice you, but grabs and pulls up a thick sheepskin, horns attached to his head, these great ribbed, sharp horns that stand proud, tall, almost like a devil. As he goes walking out between these tents here, over towards the fire, he's greeted by another man in a heavy bear skin. Stands here. As you round about this way. Go ahead and roll for stealth.
12.
Okay. Yeah, you stay hidden as you go out around these tents here. There, as you go closer to the tree, you notice several others standing just outside these great standing stones. Some of them kneeling, some of them waving their hands, some of them singing to the tree, swaying in some sort of ritual. It's not much longer than the man, these horns, comes walking over. He carries a walking stick in his hand, twisted and black. It looks very similar to this great tree here. He comes walking up, he steps to the circle, and then inside it. Following some lightly trodden path to the center, he stands there before the tree, swaying, his hands outstretched as he raises this staff above him. Go ahead and roll for insight.
10.
Yeah, with the 10, you remember the druids from the winery. Now, you don't recognize his face, but you think he might have been there. Something with the horns, they stand out to you. They didn't draw your attention then, but it was noticeable enough that it now comes to you in recollection. He goes and places a hand hovering just before the tree there. Swaying back and forth, he waves his staff. As he waves it, everyone begins to kind of turn and sway with him, all of them chanting. And with that, you hear this great groan, almost as an animal, but you hear it coming from the tree. The creaking of wood, floorboards you liken it to, but in that way that when you hear the floors creak in the dead of night, and you think what monster might be there, that great groan comes again.
Lenore, do you hear that? See, it seems as if it is alive. That man near the tree. I've seen him before. He was at the winery. Do you think he is the one that took the seat? No, I can't be sure, but he seems important.
Okay. With that, you see the clouds rolling overhead. They rumble this, coming ever closer to that great wall of mist and fog that emanates just beyond the hillside over here, completely impenetrable. As they roll, you hear that great roar of thunder. Lightning strikes. And you see these great flashes of light come striking strange shadows all across the grove here. As the people continue to chant and sway, all in this strange dance, the lightning comes again. And these shadows, and these surprising shocks of light twist and turn violently. Animals fighting each other. You see the campfires blow, spreading ash and soot as they go spraying off into the tents. Sparks flitter up into the sky. move? Or do you stay here?
Is there shadows over here at all, or just right?
The hill. You're at the top of this hill crest. The lower you get, you would presume you would be out of sight.
Kind of want to try to get around here.
As you grow closer to this side, you actually find there's a small kind of outcropping where the elevation changes. Lenore kind of bunkers down behind you, and the two of you go walking, carefully treading back behind this. And that's when you see it. A faint light coming from the middle of this tree. Another strike of lightning. Everything goes bright and is plummeted into darkness. In that moment it goes dark, you see in the maw of this tree, splintered wood forms jagged teeth, and somewhere deep beneath it, there's this roiling green light. And with that, we will go to Rillirn.
Oh. You just touched me at a time. I wasn't
That's
close
what
to you.
that's 5 now that touch you.
Rillirn, you find yourself walking hurriedly away from that wagon. You hear jovial voices in the background, almost indiscernible. And you continue walking in that direction for a moment until those voices fade away. Then, in a faint rustle of beads, and this clopping of hoofs, the rolling of wagon wheels, it comes up closer on you. And there, your body stops. Tensed. You feel a hand go down to where a sword might be. Finds nothing there.
What are you trying to find? Why have we stopped?
He's here.
Who?
The devil is here. He stands there, his back to the wagon. As it grows closer, you hear it rumbling closer to you.
What do you expect to do? Especially seemingly without a sword.
Did this go back in time?
What?
Did this go back in time? Or is this where you
No,
came from?
you know, your wagon's now turned around and coming the other direction.
Oh, that's okay. That's not
We can't do anything. Plus the deal is...
You can't do anything. I could do something.
Not right now, you can't. You don't have a sword.
Who's your friend, Rillirn?
Her name's Anna. She's nothing.
Concubine of the devil?
No.
She'd pray then, some weak thing. Speak, Rillirn.
Don't know. I guess she could be.
This time, wait, let's roll everything. Lightning bolt move.
That wagon comes rolling closer and closer. Do you say anything else before it gets you?
We need to pull off the road so that they can pass.
He stands there in the middle of the road.
I try to move.
Roll for strength.
Roll crappy.
Oh, that's a 15!
Okay.
That's
Yeah, you start to move, and he fights you every bit of it as you kind of, little by little, move your feet.
Trust me, now is not the time.
The wagon comes rolling, the horse, as you move just barely out of the way, it goes up on a rut. Hey! You hear some sort of cursing underneath it, Dominique's breath. But the wagon goes past. You stand there, watching it, glaring, through eyes not all your own. As you see it tumble off into the night.
Alright, let's just get to Crest and get the information. Maybe we can even get you a sword as well, so you can actually do something next time.
You feel your fingernails press hard into the palms of your hand. You actually feel them bleeding. He doesn't seem to mind so much. But as he stands there in the middle of the road, his feet begin to move again. We don't have time for this. You continue to walk.
You stop.
With that,
Yeah, it's really up when you need to get out of the way.
I don't want to start laughing
Anna,
right now.
we go slightly back in time as you step into this wagon. Strahd stands up, carefully offering you his hand.
I take it.
He pulls you up into the wagon. Before you're able to sit, the whole thing jolts again, and you kind of go sprawling off forward. He guides you to your seat. And there you see sitting across from you is actually this Vistana, one you don't recognize. She goes, "Hello, how are you? I am Renoya. It is my pleasure."
I take her hand. Tatiana.
I know. You, a girl without such jewelry, perhaps you would care to purchase something, no? She goes and reaches for something and offers you some sort of necklace here. You care to buy a charm?
No, that's
No?
alright.
You sure it is a
It's-
charm against evil?
It is beautiful, but I'll pass today.
Oh,
Thank you. Maybe another time.
oh. She goes then about picking up her violin and continues to play a fiddle just on the other side of the cart. It's actually fairly large. You have a little bit of space in between you, but she goes and pays her attention down to her fiddle without really watching you. I could not stay away for very long.
I'm glad you didn't. It's good to see you again.
I did not expect to see you out here on the road.
I have to tell you something. Would you mind answering one question for me first, though?
Anything?
What did you do?
I'm sorry, I have lived a long life. I have done many things. Many things I've come to regret. Perhaps guide me further to this question. What is it that you suppose I have done?
The deal you made.
Ah.
Just answer me honestly. What was the deal? And why did you make it?
I was a student of these magical arts for much of my life, though in the time after the war I found more time for it. These books, most of them unhelpful. I did come across one that offered something that I knew not magic had within its powers to grant, and even now in death I find that it too it was a lie, all of it. This book was given to me by a witch of this land a long time ago. She guided me to this ancient knowledge, and in it I performed such a spell to gain one's heart's desire. It did not grant anything of the sort, and instead I find it bound my soul. It cost everything.
I see.
You know what? Perhaps these charms, yes? Let me. He goes and offers to pay the gypsy woman.
No. What the heck?
As she pulls back out, it is the horn. It's the capro. It is a charm against the evil eye. Here for the lady.
Only if you insist.
I do. Please.
Okay, thank you. Now. Actually, I would have asked him. Would you
Yeah.
mind?
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
He goes and offers, he pulls your hair back. The two of you sitting side by side as the gypsy goes and begins to turn back to her instrument, and she picks it back up to play again. Would the lady not care to have her fortune told?
My fortune told.
Yes, of course.
I thought because of my heritage, I cannot have my fortune told.
Oh, you must forgive me, I did not know. You are Vistani.
Yes.
Well, perhaps the gentleman would care to have his fortune told? He goes and just looks to you.
I
Thank
would
you.
smile. Okay, can I lean over and grab his hand?
Yes.
I'm gonna grab his hand and look and say, I have something to tell you and to talk to you about. Well, have you ever heard the name?
Vladimir.
Have you ever heard the name Vladimir?
Perhaps. What is this name to you?
Rillirn, who I'm sure you know,
Of course.
is possessed by this revenant spirit who is trying to put the pieces together as I go, but 400 years old, and his sole purpose is to kill me. And currently, Rillirn has made a deal with him to hunt me down and to torture me. He is doing it to protect me, though he does know the true nature of who I am. Rillirn is a friend, and he was trying to make sure the spirit didn't kill me. So he made a deal that they would find me and torture me. And right now, that spirit is right outside in Rillirn, and his sole purpose is to kill me, and I don't know, it shakes me up a bit, and I don't know what to do moving forward, but
You see his face just kind of go red with anger. Stern with anger. So he goes, presses open the window. You feel this cold wind just rush inside. Some friends you keep. He pulls the window shut. You'll be safe as long as you're with me. I'll see to this. Do not worry.
okay. But don't harm Rillirn. He's innocent in this. He didn't mean to be possessed. He did die. And that is just... that is what happened at Argynvostold when we were there.
As you wish.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
You know what? Yes, I would like to have my fortune told. Lightened, yes.
And yes.
Please. He turns back to the gypsy girl and she goes, looking up, shocked and surprised. She goes and dives in for her cards. And with that,
Oh, it's so good.
Oh my god.
Oh, I love, like, you would know his face. He was about to burn you to the ground.
He was texting me, he goes, I'm dead.
And I tried to be like, no, he's.
Oh my god.
Oh, gosh.
okay.
Terrible. Stop. I thought you were lesbian. Wait a second.
With that, we go to Rillirn.
Oh boy.
You continue storming down that road at great speed. Your feet, you feel them beginning to blister at the pace that you're walking. Your legs stretched, but he continues hurriedly without any mind for any of your surroundings. He continues storming up this road here.
Maybe not slow down just a little bit. I realize you can keep this pace, but the body cannot.
Body is fine.
For now.
It will
Not if we-
heal.
Not if we keep at this pace.
You find yourself, having already crossed a bridge, you now come to a crossroads. He looks down to the left, passes it, and decides to go right, continuing up the road, then towards,
the right way.
towards Crest.
Oh, okay, cool.
Crest. You continue then up this road again for a little bit more time. Off in the distance, you hear the faint howling of wolves. You go further into this Svalich wood, the trees begin to enclose then over the road. He continues dead set forward.
You're sure we're going the right way?
He doesn't respond. But as you're being dragged along in your own body, roll for perception.
10.
10? With a 10, you continually hear things off in the woods. First to the left, somewhere deep in the blackness, then to the right. You're not sure, but you think something might be following you.
I believe we might be being followed.
He continues to walk.
Can you handle yourself?
Shut up.
I just want to be sure.
He stops there in the road. He goes, picks up a fistful of gravel, and then just throws it at a tree, and it just like. Are you going to fight me this whole way? We'll never make it before sunrise.
I'm merely asking questions and stating facts.
You're asking stupid questions. I can make it. You can shut up, and we can hurry along this road. Yes?
Fine. Proceed.
He goes off again, hurriedly now. And you're sure now you hear something behind you. A rustling in the trees. You see branches move. Something twists and turns. It's not being particularly quiet about the way it moves. As you continue onward, you suddenly see somewhere off up the road, something moves.
I believe we're being surrounded, so just be ready.
He stops there. Bite what you see.
It's definitely something up ahead that has moved, and I'm sure that we are being followed at this point. I've seen multiple things move throughout the woods. We We are obviously being tracked, most likely by a pack of werewolves.
So you're not entirely stupid.
Oh, thank you.
He goes, looking around. He rifles through the underbrush for a moment and comes up with a stick. He continues to walk on forward. As he does, roll again for perception.
16.
With a 16, you then see before you something in the road that isn't there. Gravel kicks behind no body, behind no creature. You see the spray of dust and earth. Something unseen stands before you, and he's heading straight towards it.
Stop.
He continues walking.
No, stop. There's something in front of us.
Do you try and physically stop?
Yes.
Okay, roll for strength.
8.
8. Yeah, with that, he feels your tension against him, and he kind of just throws himself forward. With that, you come colliding just into something unseen. He kind of spins. You're thrown off your feet. You go turning backwards as he looks around violently, raising his stick. He goes to swing it at something, and there you get a flurry of dust thrown in your face. At that, we're going to go to Amadeus. Amadeus, you stand there now, just outside the ring of trees. The druids continue to sway in song, and you see that light emanating between the crashes of lightning from the middle of this tree.
I don't know what the seed looks like though.
You're not sure now. She might.
You said there's like green light.
Yeah.
Nor, do you know what the seed looks like?
I've not seen it. I'm told it looks like some sort of gem.
Do you know the color?
Green.
I think we found it. Don't know how we're gonna get it though.
Look at me. You see them swaying there. They continue in this song. The tree moving and churning. You see roots that are spread throughout the grass.
Where'd you say it was? Like at the base?
Somewhere in the middle of the tree, yeah.
In it?
Yeah, inside the tree, like somewhere deep inside it.
Would it be able to like interact out?
You do not see the gem itself, but you do see the light emanating from it. It's possible you think that you might be able to reach an arm in there.
It's gonna be dangerous. We need a distraction though. We'll see if we have enough.
Okay, you make the distraction.
I know you did last time, so this one. I just need to be careful. There's a lot of druids.
Oh shit. Be careful. Okay. She kind of sneaks around this side just a little bit. There's lots of. You see, actually, there's more tents that spread up the mountainside here until it comes to a kind of this bald spot on top, the crest of the entire hill. There are fires. Perhaps we can start something.
I could shoot a bomb arrow off somewhere. Hope that
We're going to what?
it's probably not the best idea. My first thought was causing a distraction, a loud distraction.
Okay, well, don't lose confidence now. What happens when you do this?
That's the noise. Yes. But your fire is not bad either.
I don't mind. It's up to you. You lead.
Where are the fires exactly?
Here and here are the ones that you can
Those are
see.
the only two. Is there any over here?
You do see some further up the hill.
Let's make our way over to some of the tents over there. Okay, it's just we can start a fire. I don't want to. There can't be kids in the tent. We can light a tent on fire. Okay. Make our way back over.
Okay, yeah, let's go.
That way we do this quietly. Or more quiet than a bomb.
She motions towards you and you begin to lead her this direction. You circle lower around this hill as you go up and through.
What'd you roll?
27.
That's hot. No, I just like.
You see other tents spread up throughout as it begins to incline again. What direction do you follow? Here's where kind of this main road trends up through here. It begins to fade into just a small animal path.
You said these are tents?
Yeah.
Is there shadows coming out from this fire?
There are, yes. Obviously, in the direct line of it, it is in bright light. The rest of it is in shadow. As you near up that direction, you do see a few other druids around the fire.
Well, that's great.
Okay,
I don't know how.
I'm liking the bomb arrow.
It might be our best bet.
Where do you shoot it?
Somewhere past the tents that way. Or over here.
There's nothing down there.
It would cause a noise. Do you want me to shoot one of the tents?
I don't want to shoot any kids.
I know, we don't want to take that chance. We need to shoot it away from us far enough to where we're not near it.
I agree. Perhaps further down the hill, back this direction. If you fire down the hill, maybe something. There are several campments coming up this road.
Damn it, that makes me.
You see another druid come walking up this road here. This seems to be their main path as they walk up and gather around the central location. Most of them spread out further down the hill.
No, my luck of shooting arrows. Worst case scenario, you get a tent.
I kill a kid.
Kid.
Perhaps we create some sort of rock slide or something.
Where at?
Well, somewhere it would matter. She points this direction. If you obstruct perhaps the road, it would cause more of a commotion than taking out some part of the landscape. But then it is further enough away from the tents.
Do you think they'll see the arrow and where it comes from though?
Not in the night, no.
Okay.
You need a good vantage point of it though. This is a steep hillside. Do you go low and shoot high?
I think it's best
How-
we stay as hidden as possible when we do this.
I am no bowman. I can hardly pull back your longbow. I have a stupid idea.
filled with them, so you might as well throw your stupid idea out right now.
She pulls you in closer.
Do you remember earlier when I turned mid-flight? Yes. I can be there to support you, to perhaps catch you. You'll have to stay far enough away. It'll be a long shot. You'll be moving. Can you make this shot? You have to hit the mountainside. It's a fairly wide target, but we have to be far enough away. That is the hard part. With any sort of accuracy, you don't want to strike the tree. It will only draw them closer, and you don't want to hit the camps below. Let's do it. I like stupid ideas. Okay, come on.
She goes and pulls your hand. She starts leading you further down this hillside here. And with that, we're gonna go back.
Oh God. Dude,
You were bouncing through
I
so many
am
stories.
terrified.
I'm so excited to see you shoot that arrow.
Can you make the shot?
Yeah. You haven't made one yet, so let's hope.
I made the one on the church, and that was the last one.
Yeah.
That was a
One and
non-moving
only.
target.
Yeah. This is another non-moving target, I believe.
So I'm gonna give inspiration for.
I don't feel it yet.
It's okay, I understand.
We'll see.
Anna, you sit there as Rinoya reaches forward with her cards, spreading the deck wide before her. She then pulls out this small little table that kind of folds off one of the walls and spreads the cards out across it, just as you've seen before. There's a deal of showmanship here that was sort of absent when Madame Ava read the cards, but it also comes with a childishness that does not reflect the ideas of fate. Strahd kind of just glances at you sidelong. I do not have my fortune told.
Ever?
I do not believe in tempting fate, so, but perhaps we tempt fate together, no? You have this. He goes and pulls at the chain on your neck. Keep me safe, yes?
Yes.
He looks at Rinoya, and she goes, "Are you ready?" She begins placing cards out. She goes and draws the first card. Her eyes instantly roll back up into her head. This year, I see the amber glow of a lantern in the dark cave. It sways there in the wind, ticking like a clock in a frozen breath of air. Here your time runs thin. Her eyes roll forward and you see her bright green eyes as she... Another card. She flips the next. Beginning to convulse, just breathing in this breath until her breath is gone from her. Reaching up. A hand. It grabs at nothing but air. You see his face drop at that. Going solemn. It stirs an empty cauldron in the ether. Lost. Such things lost. Her Her eyes roll forward again. She goes exacerbated. Forgive me. Another card. Her eyes roll forward again. A midnight bird. It rises with the morning sun. In the light of day, he might take everything from you. Such beauty in the sun. Her eyes roll forward once more, her hand going down to the last card, and it flips before she even knows what she's doing with her hand. Yes, stand up here. The transmuter. I see a tapestry of master craftsmanship. Stories so finely told unwinds by the pull of a single thread. The paladin. Here I see old embers reignited in a loving embrace. They burn with the heat of the 9 hells. So hot it hurts. Oh, she goes spreading all the cards out. They go flying across the entire wagon, all spreading there. And you hear out the window the trotting of hoofs. Strahd looks across the wagon at the cards now spread across the floor. Such stories. The night grows thin. We should be moving on from here, no? The wagon rolls to a stop and he stands. Before he can get to the door, it swings open. You see Dominic going in, folds out a set of stairs, bowing, offering him to come down. He does, and raises his hand up to you.
I take it.
He lets you down from the wagon gently, and there you see a visage in the darkness, black as coal. A horse stands just beyond the tree line. Its eyes glow bright. Its mane flames. Each step of its hoofs is like a hammer striking the anvil. Sparks fly and the clip clap of iron. It comes forward, a violent creature, strong and built. This is Bucephalus, my steed.
He's
Do
beautiful.
not worry, he will not hurt you.
He's beautiful.
I'm glad you think so. Many call him a nightmare. It is a jest. Would you ride with me? He comes and helps you up onto the horse. He takes the reins. Thing beneath you, hulking. You can feel the muscles between your legs as it just rides. And for a second there, it steps back and begins to trot
Is he
along
in
the road.
front?
Yeah, he's in
Okay.
front of you. Yeah, so your arms wrapped about him, holding him close. You begin to pick up with greater speed. It becomes harder to stay on. But he continues without any fear until you plummet from the ground, soaring up into the sky. The hoofs, not touching ground anymore, begin to tread in nothing but air, and still sparks go flying, ethereal, as it you begin to ascend up further into the clouds. You hold on tight, and through this rolling thunderstorm off in the distance, you see the flashes of lightning. The glow from the horse's mane, it spreads out across the different clouds that are near you, lighting the mist on fire. As you proceed forward, and you see there off in the distance a tree mounting a small hill. There, a wall of mist, thick and opaque. You're unable to see anything through it. It stands there, waterfall, turmoil. It rolls and rolls as thunder and lightning strikes from within it, lighting across an encampment where fires burn and sparks are flittered out into the breeze of the night. You go closer and closer to this hill. No one seems to see you until you crest the top of its sister just beside it. A small camp doesn't quite reach the top. And there, Bucephalus sets down. With that, we now go to Rillirn.
So intense!
Rillirn, you step back spinning from dust in your face. You go squirming backwards. Who the devil is this?
Told you someone was there.
Reveal yourself! No one comes forward, but in your keen perception, you do hear the slight crunching, not of your own footsteps as you go walking back, but you see it there, heading towards the tree line just faintly. On all fours, some sort of creature.
Can I roll for Arcana to see if I know anything?
Sure.
17.
17. Yeah, with a 17, you
Whatever.
realize that there are not many creatures, especially those that you would expect to be native to this area, that would be able to cast some form of invisibility. You realize it has to be something somewhat human, something with intelligence at very least, but it goes kind of clawing off into the brush. You listen for it. Go ahead and roll for perception.
10.
10. With a 10, you lose track of it. And Vladimir, what the devil is that? What hunts us?
Some invisible creature. We need to move very carefully and very little if possible, so we can see it coming.
He raises the stick like a club.
Keep a keen eye out for it.
Roll again for perception.
6.
Jeez. With that, you hear a and a thud as behind you, you feel like you've been hit by a bludgeon, a spiked maul, as your back gives out under pain. You go sprawling headfirst into the dirt, just skidding. You lie there face down and look over behind you. You see there standing a large brown bear. It goes down on all fours again, stomping the earth.
It's definitely not invisible.
It charges you again. Yes. 18 hits, yes?
18 hits.
Oh, 18? Yeah, that does it.
Okay, you take 9 damage as it runs up on you again, slashing across your chest. As you turned over, it hits you hard. You land there on the earth. What do you do?
Think you can handle yourself against the bear?
He goes and pushes himself up to stand. He goes to hit the bear. When he goes to hit it, he smacks it straight in its face, and yet, for some reason, it doesn't even seem to budge. He goes grabbing at his hand. You feel the pain of it writhe within you as your fingers, some of them may be broken. They splinter. The bear just kind of takes a few steps back. And there, you see it suddenly transform.
What the hell?
Before you no longer stands a bear, but an old man, cowled in a cape. He peels back a hood. So he roars at you, this kind of strange voice. You recognize him immediately. Morden King. What do you want? What do you want? He goes and lashes his hands out at you. Suddenly, flittering through the air come 3 spectral darts. You recognize them to be magic missiles.
Oh my gosh.
This is too good. Each of them striking you.
Oh, of course they are.
You take 12 damage as you go. As they ram into you, splitting apart skin, they tear at your clothes. You go flying, spinning about. The devil is this thing? Who is that?
It's nothing. Don't engage.
Don't engage. He's going to kill us. Well, I'll kill you.
Thank you for that. Morden King. Please. You know me.
No,
Yes.
no, you're trying to hunt me. You're hunting me.
No, yeah, I am not trying to hunt you. I promise you, I am not trying to hunt you.
With that, all of a sudden,
Don't do that.
you see him split apart into multiple images of himself. He's now 3 of them. Each standing there, they stand similarly close to each other, but in a way they move towards you and scramble out, running as they run out around you and surround you in some ways. They run past you, 2 of them into the woods, and one of them kind of turns around and stands there like,
I'm not here to hurt you. I won't. Here, I will lay my stick down. I'm not trying to hurt you.
Sticks. He points at the stick then. Immediately there, it sets on fire.
I'm not trying to hunt you. I didn't even expect to see you here.
He goes back and begins chewing on his fingernails there.
Do you know where you are? What are you?
And that person evaporates immediately there before you. And for a moment, you're left there alone in the wilderness, on the road.
We need to get out of here. We can't do anything against him.
What is he? Is that Strahd mage.
One of the most powerful mages ever. We can't do anything in this state right now.
Can you feel him? He's there. Just ahead.
Do you think we'd be able to make a break for it? You seem to be able to move quickly. Move that quickly?
I don't run from things.
We can't fight this though either. I understand you have little care for this body, but we have a deal.
Very well. You see him go, he picks up his step, he begins to run headlong. When suddenly, go ahead and roll a dexterity saving throw.
Son of a-
11.
An 11?
Is that
Yeah.
good enough? No, of course it is.
With a sudden bright flash of light, you see the tree in front of you erupt in a chain of lightning. As it spreads from that tree, it blasts into another tree, and it comes darting straight for you. Go ahead and roll another dexterity saving throw.
$14.
14. With a 14, you go and you're trying to duck out of the way before suddenly it catches you just in the mid-thigh. It spins you, launching you off your feet. This bright, visceral energy comes treading up through your body, and you feel yourself come alive. Your teeth burn inside your skull as you're thrown through the air. You take 20 damage.
I'm dead.
As you spin, landing flat on the earth, your body torn. As you lay there, you feel your body get back up to your feet. You're missing part of your cheek. There's a hole where your teeth are. You have complete control of your body.
Mag is not working. Any ideas?
Like to run.
Shall we try again? I see no other course for action against him.
You see a man peek out from behind a tree.
Excuse me, we're not trying to hurt you. No. It was an accident. We did not know what you were.
You're chasing me. I
No.
see you. I know.
We'll go the other way.
I know.
We'll go the other way. We are not trying to get you.
And that he goes and just. You see, in the way his hands move, vapid. It's as if he expected you to attack him, and he cast a counter spell on it.
Like I said, we're not trying to hurt you. I did nothing. I will not harm you.
You tried to harm me! He comes running straight at you and disappears. All of a sudden, you hear a behind you, and something hits you heavy on the head. A rock comes down. He stands there yelling down at you. You take 8 damage as it clubs in the back of your head.
Please, we're trying to help you.
Help me! Help me! He goes and throws the rock at you again. 2 more damage as the rock kind of goes down, hits you in the chest.
Is he on top of me?
He's standing there kind of at your feet above you.
I'd like to kick him.
Okay, yeah, roll the hit.
Can I roll with Vladimir's
Yes.
strength roll? What is that? I
Do
don't
you not
have
have
the
the
paper
sheet?
right now.
My boy, where's the
Sheet
sheet?
plus 9.
It's +9 or +7?
No, I thought it was.
Oh, it was +7.
+7 with the great sword.
Yeah.
+9 with the great sword. +7
Yeah.
normally.
Yeah.
Where'd you
Oh,
put
yeah.
it?
Don't even matter.
Doesn't even matter. I don't even need it. There's
Apparently
no way.
doesn't need it, so you're good.
Okay. What'd you get?
15,
So it'd be above
20,
which
20
is
at least.
+7. So.
Yes, yeah, you definitely hit. Roll for damage.
2d6 +4. 8.
8? Yeah, with an 8, you kind of kick him in his knee, and it buckles sideways. He goes rolling out onto the ground. Who are you? Who are you?
My name.
Who are you?
My name is Rillirn.
Where do you come from?
I'm from the Sword Coast.
Oh, been to the Sword Coast before.
You know me. We met there.
I know you. Of course I know. Why then do you come? Why do you hit me? Why do you attack me?
I'm
Why?
very sorry.
Why? 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 Why?
I did not mean to. It was an accident.
Mean to. Mean to. Mean to. All of a sudden, mean to. He did not mean to. I don't mean to. Did not mean to. I don't mean to. He didn't mean it. Ah! You see him there flying above you, just kind of tearing at his own clothes, ripping them. He didn't mean to. Didn't mean to. He didn't mean it. What do you do?
Staring off for a second and start slowly backing up.
As you slowly back up, he looks at you. Try to escape me! He
Oh, no,
claps
my
his
God.
hands together. With this great roar, you see the air split apart, rippling in this horrible wave of sickening energy as it saps you of any strength. You go sprawling out onto the ground. What is this devilry? What is this? You find yourself hardly able to stand. You're just crawling backwards until you're able to just barely catch your breath again. You were struck with an enfeeblement ray. All strength based attacks are halved.
I guess we just have to sit it out. I don't know. We can't run.
Sit it out? Do you care so little for yourself?
What would you suggest then, huh? What can we do here right now? Nothing.
You know, magician.
I don't have anything to use right now. I don't have my spell book. You wanted to leave so quickly I couldn't even go and get it.
Because you're so weak. Perhaps it would be best to rid myself of this corpse after all.
You aren't much better. You're of no use.
No use. No use.
What have you
Fair
done?
enough. Fair enough. He goes and stands up to his feet. If you're not going to do anything about it, I'm going to run this thing out. You have a little meat left on your bones. Let's see what he can do. He starts running at it headlong. Are you going to stop him?
Yeah.
What do you do?
I tried to just stop us in our tracks.
Okay, roll for strength.
4. No way that stops it.
You stop.
That's it.
No. He continues headlong towards him. Ah! The man
Don't hurt
stands
him.
there. As he's sort of flying, starts coming down, expecting the full brunt of the punch as he reels back to hit him, and
Can I pull the punch at all? Oh,
we'll see.
you're
We're going to go to Amadeus.
That was the time. That was really funny.
Trying to escape.
Amadeus Holt clapped you.
You and Lenore were able to escape the main part of the camp. You came down this mountainside here. Once you think you've gotten far enough away, she asks you, "Are you ready?"
More ready than I will ever be. Let's do this.
Okay, I will carry your bow up with you, with me. I will, we have to go high, far out of their view. There you will turn, and I will hand off this bow to you. Don't push it. If you miss, you miss, okay? The important thing is you don't hit the ground. This is crazy.
Wouldn't be fun if it wasn't.
You have a sick idea of fun. Okay. Yes?
Yes.
She turns, morphing into her half-raven hybrid. She takes up the bow, nods at you. Do you turn?
Yes.
You do, and she watches you kind of fly up. She takes off, coming much slower after you, raising up into the night. You kind of hover far off, flying higher and higher up into the sky. You pass through this tumultuous cloud, roiling, lightning cracks somewhere in it, and you see the whole thing go white. But you continue to raise up higher until you crest the top of this cloud, come outside of view. You see it through a window between these clouds. It's like a pit in the landscape, a vast hole. Far below you see the fires, and that sickening green light seems to grow brighter from that tree. Raised high up here, she caws at you. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. She goes, coming close to you. She drops the bow. You turn?
Yes.
Roll for a dexterity save throw.
It's gonna be a 10.
10. As you turn into a raven, the bow falls faster than you. As you start turning, she yells down at you, "Quickly!" As you turn into a raven, you have to dive now for it. It's past you where you'd be able to grab it. Let's roll an acrobatics check. Eight. You fly down, plummeting quickly. You miss the bow. You go right on past it. You recognize this swiftly. Open up your wings and see the thing as it comes down past you. You grab at it, missing, until you finally able to grab onto the bow, and the arrows lashed around it. You're able to kind of pull it and fix it, raise it as you're falling the air, as it's rushing past you. It's putting pressure up against your bow arm as you try and lower it and steady it, raising towards the side of that mountain. You're falling and falling. Let's say you're off here. As you come plummeting. Tell me when you fire. Now. Okay. Go ahead and roll to hit.
My lord. Oh my gosh.
Nuh-uh.
Roll a 1.
That one.
No. You gotta be kidding me.
With that, your arrow goes flying. It soars then through the air. Further and further. That's not the right music. You see it catch the wind and go higher than you expected. We're gonna roll and see where this thing lands. Okay. I gotta make up the rules for this. Okay. If it's If it's 15 and over, it'll soar off into the clouds. If it is in between a 15, if it's like 14 to 10, it's going to strike the mountainside. If it's lower than 10, it's going to hit somewhere up here. 14.
Mountainside.
So with a 14, your arrow soaring, you find it goes low.
Is that where you're supposed to?
Lower, lower. It's dropping with you. As you watch it soaring, trying to wipe your eyes, the tears from them, as you fall,
So much.
you see it erupt, this explosion. It hit mid-camp, halfway down. Fire goes spraying. You see smoke billow. A tent comes flapping like a flag lost in the wind. With a great thunder clap. You hear screams and shouts of in shock. Just, what is that? Where are you? As you continue to fall, you're awestruck at the thought. You saw children, families. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw.
20, but not that.
Okay. As you plummet, you find yourself forgetting to turn. But remember, again, as the ground comes rushing closer, you fall, twisting, turning onto your back. You find yourself folding into your raven form, feathers sprouting from your limbs as you shrink. Those feathers, they're turned and twisted, they blow and all in the wrong directions until suddenly it catches. You catch yourself just before the tree line. You see there, another black shape comes falling quickly. It just passes you, slowing before you. What happened?
I missed the shot.
She doesn't say anything more, continues flying with you, past in this direction. Eventually, you come and land somewhere lower on the hill over here. She turns back for a moment, pulling at her clothes. Sitting there, she gives a moment of silence as you can hear women, children wailing, crying off in the distance. Men, full tears, wailing. Far off. She takes your hand. Come on, we have to hurry. It's our time. We have to go.
Okay.
She pulls you up the hill. She goes and lets go of your hand, kind of treading off before you. She goes onto her knees as it becomes a heavier and steeper incline. You catch her there wiping at her face as she continues to climb higher. As you come up to the top here, it is all but silent. Everyone seems to have rushed off the top of the hillside. Gone lower. You stand there in the silence, the far off wailing. No one is near the tree. What do you do?
Right, I'm gonna run to the tree. Oh, I'm gonna sneak up to the tree.
Okay. You carefully walk forward. Without any figures here. Come to the outside of the circle. And then you see Lenore just walking, looking about. She's not being cautious. She walks up to to the edge of the circle. She doesn't make eye contact with you, but she recognizes you're there and then continues to walk forward.
I'm gonna walk up to her. Is she sneaking or is she just
No, she's just walking. And you do that. You feel this sort of energy as you come near that circle there, as you step there. You get this sense of danger as the hair on the back of your neck stands up.
Lenore, don't touch the tree.
Why?
We don't know what it'll do.
We have to get the seed.
I know we do. Be careful, and I don't want you touching it.
I am careful. I followed his path through.
I don't trust it.
And stay there. She walks forward up to the tree.
I'm going to walk faster towards the tree.
Okay. As you walk up towards that tree there, you feel that energy vibrating then through you. Something strange. Something's wrong. As you walk closer, do you stop or do you continue?
I continue because I want to hold her back.
Okay. So you continue. Suddenly out of the heavens, a shock of lightning. You take 12 damage as it strikes the earth beside you. You go spinning. Lenore, shook by the wave of it all, it goes falling, tumbling over a tree root. She lays there on her back as you go spinning outside the circle. You land at the edge of the hill, at this small precipice where you might go tumbling down it if you'd landed any further. You all right?
I'm fine. Keep your voice down.
I have to get it. She goes to stand up again.
Is my amulet doing anything?
No.
Okay.
But as you stand there, you see, or lay there, you see that tree as it kind of roils, not in the wind, but it turns and twists, its branches swaying. Do you do anything?
I would like to not walk all the way up to it this time, but at least around her.
Okay. You grow closer. Lenore stands before this gaping maw, a hole split open inside this tree. She stands there, pulls up at one of her sleeves. She looks down into the hole. I think I see it. I'm going to get it.
Lenore, please. I don't know if we should do this.
What was this for?
Alright? Go for it.
She reaches her hand down. You hear her breath. This overwhelming sense of dread washes over her. You see it on her face as she pushes her hand in further. I think I feel it. I've got it. It's stuck. She starts pulling against it, puts her hand on the tree. It's stuck. You hear this kind of the tree groaning. I think I've got it. Wait. She begins to pull her hand out and suddenly the tree snaps shut. She doesn't say a word, but she takes 2 steps back. You don't see that glowing light anymore. It's gone black. She just stands there.
Are you okay?
She turns to you. And there you see her holding her arm at the stump. She falls there to her knees.
I'm gonna run and grab her.
You rush forward again and you feel that terrible energy.
Lenore, can you scoot back towards me?
She looks back to you. Her voice cracks. This hot breath of... You can tell she's on the verge of screaming in pain, but she's in shock.
Okay, I'm gonna try running over and covering her mouth. And grabbing
Inside?
Grabbing a hold of her, yes. and jumping
Roll a
on her.
dexterity saving throw.
That's gonna be an 11.
11. With that, you go and you grab her. As you begin to pull that energy that comes around you, the tree begins to lurch and lean. As it sways off to one side, you hear thunder roll high in the heavens, and another strike of lightning. This time on the other side of the tree, it spurts out streaks of blue as it strikes one of the standing stones, knocking it off to the side. You're able to grab her and pull her back as the whole tree sways and begins to lean out towards you.
I'm gonna try pulling her back.
Roll for strength.
10.
10. Yeah, you pull her back slowly, heaving her through the earth. Everything else goes quiet. You don't hear the mourning, the wailing, but you see this tree as it lurches forward towards you. You pull her back, and at the last moment, the both of you go spinning over the hillside. And with that, we go to Anna.
I didn't hear any of that.
Oh my god. That was intense.
Beating in my
I'm with
head,
Strahd right
telling
now.
her
He's writing,
But-
okay?
oh my god.
I don't know anything.
I was like, I should tell her to pull her hand out.
Anna, you dismount Bucephalus, and Strahd, he strokes the muscled head of this horse, its flaming eyes wincing at him. It opens its maw and you see the flames spit. I'm glad you think he's pretty, because not many do.
May I?
May you what?
Pet him?
Of course. Certainly. He goes and takes a step back, but holds the horse's head generally underneath its jaw, stroking down where its mane would be. As he moves his hand, the flames seem to evaporate and then spring back into life. Yeah, you go to pet it. As you do, you feel its fur coarse. Its lively, hot head, hotter than any animal, any creature. As you feel it, you get no sense of blood moving through it. You only feel this roaring flame that seems like a furnace to burn in it. Strahd smiles at you, but his gaze is drawn up to something. He goes, "Oh. Come quickly." He guides you forward through the grass. The winds howl over the tops of the hills. He holds you close. Underneath his cape, do you see it? A faint light just beyond that horizon there. The clouds peel slowly away in this vast wall of smoke and haze and mist. You see the faintest glimmer of light, daylight, shining off white stones. It was my family's castle long ago. I know whether or not it is here to torment me or to represent some sort of last remaining beauty. You see that window there, just below the high tower.
I see it.
That was my room when I was a boy. It was a long time ago. I brought you here because, for one, I would love to share such beauty with you, but there is still beauty to be found here in this land. It is not of the same kind. It is of a passion. I'm sure you found. But it is a sport as well, and one that I have perfected over the years, one that I wish to share with you. You see?
I see.
These people, they are the Gavani druids of Yesterhill. They worship this land. Or by extension, they say, Strahd is the ancient, Strahd is the land. I say this because I want you to feel no guilt in what we do. To them it would be an honor. But to take, there is something within our nature. Think of it as a kindness. For when they do not know that death knocks at their doorstep, they need to fear nothing. No?
I understand.
This camp is full of people. But I propose you walk straight in.
How do you choose?
My dear, you are the queen of Barovia. You need not choose.
So you just pick.
They are all for you. Here it is safe. I will be watching. But they will not see you coming, even though some may see you. To them, you are all they may see. Their gaze transfixed. You have more power over life in death.
And you'll watch? You'll be here?
Of course. I'll come with.
I
But-
trust you.
I expect you to lead.
I smile. Okay. Then let us go.
He takes your hand, but trails behind you, letting you sort of lead him towards the camp.
Okay.
Where did I put that piece? There it is. You, from walking, okay, here you become immediately aware of of voices, whispers, breath, heart. You hear that thud, 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 thud. Repetitious drums coming from each of the tents, and there, dancing in the firelight, the shadows of men before you, warming their hands at this fire. But you see there, first in this tent, you're almost drawn to it, as if to come straight at them would be vulgar. But of course, you're at your own volition. You may do what you choose.
So what were you saying about this tent?
You get the sense that it might be easier to come up to someone that isn't in the middle of a clearing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Then I'll go into the tent.
Okay. You go and stoop, pulling back the curtain. You see in there a man lays out on a cot, his eyes dreary as he listens to a woman. She sits there telling him some story in another language. She's describing this descriptively. She goes and looks to you. She come walking in. Go ahead and roll charisma.
That's a 9.
The 9?
11.
With an 11, she stares at you for a moment, looking. She walks up straight to you, crouching in the low tent, and then she walks right past you and pulls the flap of the tent closed. She turns back around. You have to take a sidestep, or she would have walked right into you. She goes and sits back down and begins to, moriéndose, or por qué something. There, beside you now, Strahd also steps into the tent. Beauty transfixes, no?
She doesn't see me. Or you?
Not if we choose not to be seen. These people spend day after day inviting the land into their home. They invite us freely. We come and we go. Not everyone is so susceptible, but with enough practice, you might charm your way into anyone's home. Now, before the draft causes her to pull at her collars. Strahd goes forward. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He kind of
I go
leads
with
you. Do you go towards the woman or the man?
The woman.
You near her and she continues to talk. But then there's a moment when she goes silent and she notices the man. She shakes her head at him. His eyes, he's drifted off to sleep. Strahd stands there above the man, looking down at you, just watching.
I go up to her. Gracefully just moving around her. Trying to place myself behind her. And then I'm gonna reach down and bite her neck.
You do that. And it's that same sensation you felt the other night. That tensing of muscle. She breathes. And then relaxes with a smile. She looks up and leans back into you, falling into you. You pull her closer. Strahd's face is calm, quiet. He watches, but something dark in his eyes. It smiles. You are a natural. A she-wolf among lambs. Drink another. It'll feed you. It'll make you stronger.
I'm already down with her.
Yeah, you drain her quickly, and she begins to go cold. And there, in that moment, he puts a hand then on your shoulder just before she's gone. It's enough. Just before you let her walk through its door. See that she's already gone. Do you go to the man?
What about you?
Tonight is about you. I've had all of eternity. But tonight, I want you to see what you're capable of. It will stretch you, you will grow.
I
You're
know.
already so much more.
I go to him, laying down, and then by his neck.
You do that. He's already asleep, and so it takes barely anything for you to stoop to him. Within moments, he's gone again. The blood just pours in and down your throat, and you stand, you breathe in that cold night air, and it's refreshing after that hot bath of iron has filled you. And yet, as you stand there, your eyes roll and you sway for a moment. He catches you. Come. And leads you outside the tent. There you see 3 men, one of them with his back to you. None of them seem to see you. As you walk out of that tent, forward. Do you go to them?
I just stay with Strahd. Or is he letting me leave?
Yeah, he's letting you leave.
Oh, I see. Can we just walk through?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of walk around them.
Yeah.
Him watching you with a tender fascination. You can tell he likes to see you feed. His face nearly pulls to a smile, but he keeps it dignified. As he goes and places a hand on one and dips his neck slightly, as if propositioning you with a drink.
You take it.
As you come forward, you find yourself rushing more quickly than you expected. Your feet carry you, and suddenly you're latched. Within moments, that hot iron that pours down through you fills you out into your limbs, out into your fingers that pull at his clothes and into his muscles, until the tensing of his muscles, they drop again, and with it, he falls to the ground. Before you even look at Strahd, you turn to the next man there. He seems to look at you for a brief moment. Before you come up on him, you pull back his chin and you grab at his throat, tearing. Again and again, you make your way through the camp. From one man to the next, you find yourself then in a tent. You know not who's in it. All you see is red, a flood that washes over you. You go to a woman again, and then stoop lower to a child. You stand, feel as if you're flying, floating above the ground as you fall into another tent and move, lying in bed beside a stranger who's nothing more than a husk as you roll and spin onto another one. Everything washes over you in this haze of mist. All the while you feel that comfort knowing that Strahd is standing there with you in all of it. He isn't disgusted at what you are. If anything, he seems proud. But you hardly see his face anymore. Till you come writhing, slinking like a snake, a serpent, out of another tent. And with that, we're going to go to Rillirn.
Woo! Got a lesson right.
It's been a rough night.
I wish like Rillirn said, or Blake said, we could just go on a date with Strahd.
Yeah.
That was our thing.
I
Yeah.
wish my time for this campaign was so easy like that. Go on dates,
Seriously.
being on people.
We should have been
Easy.
We should have been Sims as our class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forget wizard. I'm a sim.
You stand there poised, and in the slightest moment before, you slam a fist into the face of your master. You find yourself conscious. You're able to control yourself. What do you do?
So I just hit him.
You're right about to. What do you do?
I pull back as hard as I can.
Okay, go ahead and roll a dexterity saving throw.
At least I have the bonus on that one. Oh, 19.
19.
Please.
Yeah. With that, you pull and miss. You spin for a brief second. And as you do, you pull away from him, sprawling out into the road there. You go skidding, but manage to stay on your feet. You turn to him as you see him just he throws his hands at you. With it, you see his hair stand on end. He was bald before, but it's grown out long. It sways in this vapid just spray of flame. You see his eyes ignite as fire emits from his hands. You recognize the spell before it leaves his lips. He's cast Fireball.
Oh my god.
With that, it comes tearing through the sky towards you.
Can I run out of the way at all?
I want you
Oh my god.
to pick 1 through 3. One through 3.
3.
Oh boy.
I'd like you to read what this spell is.
Oh.
You raise your hands up to catch yourself before the fireball can engulf you. And you sit there waiting. And yet nothing happens. Your eyes squinted, peeling at the heat of it. You open them. And for a brief moment there, you stand staring at your own death. Time has stopped. You stand there in the middle of the road. You gaze past this horrible spear of flame, and you see Mordenkainen in there, his face pinched and frozen in time. Rocks and earth spitting from his feet are frozen in midair. What do you do?
you want me to first roll?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
Well, what do you roll
Because
for?
I roll 1d4 plus 1 for how many turns
Oh, sure.
I time stop.
Yeah.
Okay. Five.
Okay.
Oh. Oh my gosh.
He's there, his hands extended as he sort of stands on one foot in mid-motion, casting this at you. But for the moment,
Oh my god. Oh, I don't even know what to do. What the heck?
you have 30 seconds.
Of course I do.
That way.
No, that's fair, that's fair. Yeah. I'll first move out of the way and can I just like observe Mordenkainen to see what's different about him now that time stopped?
Yeah, you walk over to him, you see it's clearly him. His goatee and mustache that is normally so trimmed has grown out into a full beard, patchy. His hair is sort of grown in up over his crown, though he's clearly balding. It's grown in heavy and long. He stands there, his face pinched. He's clearly himself, and at the same time, there's something so wrong with his brain.
Could I roll for Arcana or Insight to see if I can find out
Sure.
what's happened? Which one can I use?
Pick one.
I'll use Arcana. Ooh, a 19.
The 19. You remember reading something in his letter telling you that he would apologize, but because he won't remember you anyway, he's going to save himself the time. Remember you anyway. He knew this was coming. It wasn't something done to him. He must have cast some sort of spell on himself. A mind blank spell comes to mind. He's lost all sense of who he is. But there's something more at hand. Because he doesn't remember himself, he doesn't remember his spells. He's gone mad. And you suspect it was self-imposed.
Do I know anything about reversing that?
Not offhand.
Should I roll and see if I can? Okay. Oh, what does this spell do? If I touch somebody, does that stop it? Only if you use
If you affect them, I think. If you
Okay. They're carried by someone. But that's a neutral place more than 1,000 feet from the location where you cast it.
okay, what do you do?
Do I notice Vladimir with me as well?
In this moment, you don't. But you begin to see all around you little flakes of dust and earth. You look down and see the rocks that you kicked up. They're slowly beginning to move again. You're running out of time.
I just run as quick as I can towards where Krask is.
Okay.
The way I was going initially.
You do, bolting. It's sometime you get a good distance before suddenly you feel the weight of everything collapse on you again. You hear the voice in your head. What the hells? Oh, the 9 hells, what did you do?
It's no matter now, we have to go. We can't deal with that right now. Trust me, focus, and let's get to Krask.
Yeah, you continue, you're in control of your bodies, you
Yes.
continue to run, sprinting down this road. You hear off in the distance this as he turns into some sort of animal that you're unable to see. A great roar. You've left him somewhere in the room. As you run down these streets. We're going to go back
to Amadeus.
Just wonderful.
Oh man.
And you're gonna
I'm
be
so
coming up
sorry,
soon.
Okay, I'm just...
Dude, that was so freaking cool. Oh my gosh.
I wonder what the other two were.
Yeah, I want.
What
Can I
if,
see
what if
them?
you got the worst one?
Can I see
No,
the
you got
other
the best
two?
one. The other one,
Oh, okay.
level 3.
Well, you got the best one.
You are sprawled out down side of this hill. You and Lenore went rolling through the grass. You lay there halfway down. You've come up against some craggy stones that have stopped you. She's there. It hurts.
Can I heal her arm?
You go up to it. Yeah, go for it. Roll to heal.
Nine.
Yeah, with a 9, you see her skin begins to pull forward towards the stump. But the flesh, it melts and churns. The bone almost looks to boil for a moment before it grows over itself, mending. Just
Cool, but gross.
she's left with an arm just above her elbow. She cries out in pain at that
Can I-
mending process.
Can I cover her mouth? Can I cover her mouth?
Yeah, go for it. Go ahead and roll for strength. 15?
16.
Yeah, you do cover it. It muffles it some. She
go
actually
first one.
bites down on your fingers.
It was second level.
You're good. You covered it.
Okay.
You go to cover her mouth. She screams. It muffles it, but she bites down on your fingers. You're in extreme pain, but at the same time, it's nothing compared to what she's in. She just. I have to go.
Stay down here for 1 second. I'll be back. Don't move.
Where are you going?
Back up.
Why?
Because I can, and I need to check this out for myself. I told you I didn't trust this tree. You left your arm in.
She goes
1 minute.
sprawling out on her knees and pushes herself up on one hand. I'm coming with you.
No, you're not. Any. It's not a good situation. I need you to stay down here. Okay?
I'm not arguing with you.
Yeah, and this is an argument. I'm telling you.
Roll for persuasion.
It's gonna be a 12.
Don't leave me.
It'll be for a quick minute, I promise. I'll be back and we will get out of here. I just need to see if I still have time to go see if I can do something.
She falls and lays back
Oh.
up against the hill, letting you go.
Okay, I just want to walk back up, make sure see if there's any druids around. Let me see first.
Yeah, you come up here and you see no one.
Okay. I don't want to walk straight up to it this time.
Okay.
There's a path, right?
There was.
I want to go on the path.
You walk carefully over there. You get to the edge of it. Stand there, and that feeling isn't quite there. You walk carefully out onto the path. You're able to keep it.
Is the tree open still, or is it closed?
You look to it, and you actually see its mouth is almost half open, half closed. It's not nearly as wide as before.
Can I look inside and see if I see an arm?
Yeah, you look down inside that hole, and all you see is a black speckled gem.
It's not green anymore.
It's glowing green, but blood has tainted it.
Okay, how do I know like how fragile the seed is, or is
You're not sure. It looks to be a garnet or some sort of gemstone, but glowing green.
okay? I'd like to drop a bomb in there.
A bomb arrow?
Yes, just drop it in,
Okay.
and then run back that way.
Yeah, you lower it in there and just. So do you come back out the path?
Yes, come back this pathway.
Okay.
So
You
run
do
around,
that and run.
and I'm gonna run back toward her.
Let's see. With that, as you go running, you make it here to this tent when you hit the deck. So you crawl back to look around. You see wood splintered from the tree. The whole thing.
Oh shoot.
But the gem comes falling out with a. You see it.
I'm gonna book it over for the gym.
Okay. You make your way. You run towards it, and
Wait.
No, you're running. Go.
I know. Yeah, let me take the path.
okay, you catch
Because
yourself.
I could be really
Very
dumb.
good. You run down towards the path, stooping down. You go to pick it up, and as you raise it up, looking back towards the direction of Lenore, you see her kind of crouched there, standing.
Let's go.
You make your way back to her.
Yes.
Okay. The path continues up this way, or you can go around this way.
I'm gonna go back the other way this way.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
As you come back around this direction, you stop here. And you see then, past that tree, groaning, quaking, you see someone standing there. Tall, black cloaked. He watches you.
Do I recognize him?
From this distance, you're not so sure. Go ahead and roll for perception.
13. Sorry, 14.
By the overwhelming presence of him, you think you know who it is.
No, I figured.
No
Well,
one just
I
strut the
could've
black
told you
cloak
still.
in this game.
Not yet.
Yeah, just him.
I just turn around and keep going towards the north.
As you turn, suddenly there, you see, hiding behind a pillar, leering out. You don't recognize her at first. Her face, pale. Her mouth, drenched down her chin, covered in blood. She stares at you, her mouth opens. You see there something drips out, a long string of blood or drool. her eyes hungry black. But they go from you as your sister inhales the smell of blood. Her eyes transfix on Lenore.
Do I see it happening?
Yeah, you see all that.
I'm gonna yell at Lenore. She crouches like half a wing. Does she have like half a wing if she turns?
You do not know yet.
No.
I'm
About to
gonna tell
find
her
out.
to run. I'm gonna go tackle my sister.
Okay. You yell, run. Yeah?
Yes.
She stands up, looks at you, and she hadn't seen her a second ago. And you step forward. Lenore takes off, sprinting down the hill. She's off balance, even by just an arm. As she starts to kind of run, she begins to trip and fall. She slides a moment, but stands back up and continues. What do you do?
I'm gonna go tackle her.
Okay. This is now a strength check. Both of you roll for strength.
Oh my god.
Morning, Lord!
now you're playing.
Dang it!
20! Nat 20!
What the
Nat
frick,
20!
man?
Hey, that was my first roll of the night.
With that, you
So-
run towards her. She's quicker than you expected. The way she moves from you, you plow just past her before she grabs you, the nape of your neck. And just, with an immense strength, you feel her come down on top of you, pushing you forward. She drives you, stomach first, into the earth. She's there on top of you, her knee pressed into your back.
I still have garlic rats around my neck, right?
You do.
Good to know. I just want to make sure,
Oh
you
my
know?
God.
Just in case it's right down there.
She can move it.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not an animal
Word.
anymore, Amadeus.
Okay.
Well-
Hang
I'm
on
just kidding.
there.
I mean, right.
You still don't
No,
like,
no, no,
I don't know,
no.
you seem like an animal right now.
To you.
Not as much of an
Are
animal.
you freaking kidding me? You are an animal. Oh my gosh. I'm already having a hard night, okay?
What do you do?
Try to get up.
Okay, roll for strength.
Let's try this again.
Yeah, you're gonna roll for strength again.
Gosh dang,
Nat 20!
Yeah, you're
I think you need to take your
squirm
dice with it
for a moment as you try and push yourself up.
One
And as she
leg.
presses you further into the dirt, she grabs onto your head, pulls your hair. She goes down, her mouth dripping. You feel
Can I
blood slap.
try shoving garlic in her mouth?
I'm gonna say no. As she goes to move to you, she goes, her mouth hot, but not with her own breath. You feel it. As her lips come around your neck, you feel that warm blood trickle, and then a crunch as it sinks into your neck. At that moment, you feel an intense, burning, hot ember. They're in your pocket. Your hands press deep into the earth.
Yeah.
As you lay there, you see boots, leather, adorned with gold. Standing there before you as they walk up, Strahd stands watching as your sister tears into you. You feel your strength beginning to be sapped. What do you do?
I'm gonna grab for the amulet.
Go on.
Do I know what it does? Nope. No ideas?
Your hand
Come
pulls,
on,
you
Amadeus.
reach into your pocket, and there you grasp it. It burns hot like a coal, but you take it and raise it out with this sort of hum. Your eyes close, forced by an immensely bright light. There, another warmth overcomes you, that of sunlight, daylight, streams out across the clearing. You hear this wail, and above you, your sister screams in pain.
Sweet.
That doesn't sound like a scream. Sweet.
Hey,
You
I was
lie there
practiced,
holding the
so I'm
amulet
fine.
just above your head. As there, the two of them go wailing off into the night. You hear it like the changing of bats. And you stand there just emitting this humming light of day. There you see, running up to you, Lenore. She comes running forward. Are you alright?
Yes, just she got into my neck a little bit. But I think
She goes to you and tries to prop you up just with one hand.
we need to go now.
Yeah, okay. Come on. She tries to help kind of pull you up to your feet. All she can do is smile at you, but you're not sure whether it's just out of extreme duress or actual joy at seeing that you're okay. But still, that light, it streams out from your hand as you hold it at your side. You have to cover your eyes from it and wince away, but it shines out into the night, tearing away the darkness.
Do you think you could fly?
No? Can you?
I can.
You sure?
Yes.
Can we?
Okay.
You turn. It's easier than you would have expected. Twisting into this sort of half raven, half man, you grab hold of her as she also begins to twist and turn into a bird. You hold her there, and your talons cradled, her wing half gone. You hold her as a raven and take off into the night, this light emitting, shining over the tree. The tree begins to twist and wither at it. Peeling, you see it actually fall.
Good riff.
It rides.
The weeping willow is
There you see druids pointing at the star as it falls out into the night.
I feel bad. Did kill some
Yeah.
Rillirn, you walk along the road, eventually coming to terms that that was your master. Vladimir has taken a back seat. You're not sure why you haven't heard from him in some hours, but there, far off, you do see a walled city, sitting nestled amongst the Beartalk Mountains. Crest. And that is where we're going to leave.
Oh, man.
Epic!
Just remember, I own you now.